Mm.
Amazing. So, Nicole, what would you like to share? What have you experienced? And I mean, I'm sure you've seen lots of things.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one. I was called in, a client was a bank. I worked in public accounting and they were one of my clients, one of my internal controls clients. And they had suspicion of a fraud and called us in to go in and take a look at it. And so the lady who was committing the fraud worked on the front line. She was a teller, and one of her clients had a line of credit. So on a line of credit with a bank, you don't always have to make payments. It depends on the terms. So you don't always have to make principal and interest. You kind of make it whenever you feel like it, maybe once a quarter, whatever the terms might be.
Yeah.
So on this particular line of credit, they didn't have to pay at any certain time, and they can kind of just pay whatever they want. The thing that was taking place was that the teller ordered checks against the line of credit. And instead of having the checks go to the individual, they came to the bank, and she was going to give them to them. As you can guess, it didn't go to them. So she was writing checks off of lines of credit, but what she was doing it off of multiple accounts. And so when people were coming in to make payments on their line of credit, she was taking it and applying it to different lines of credit and moving money around. So in your fraud triangle, skimming, she was definitely skimming. In banking, one of their internal controls is that tellers have to take 2 weeks worth of vacation at one point in time, at any given time. So they found the fraud because the customer came in and had their bank statements and it didn't match what the bank was showing. And they're like, we haven't been taking these draws off the line of credit. So that's how they found it, was relying on somebody else to find it, the customer to find it. But the reason this story is important, and I share it, is because I work in construction and a lot of my clients have lines of credit. So just because you have one, don't rely on the bank. Do your own accounting, do your own reconciliation in-house, and make sure you're keeping up with everything, because you don't know what's going on at the bank.
Okay, my jaw is going to be permanently on the floor during this.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, if you're gonna commit fraud, you're gonna do it at the bank, like the bank.
The bank.
Wow. I'm floored. And what I'm also hearing is a couple of internal control steps that can help to prevent and detect this. Mm-hmm. If you're a business owner and you take pride that your team is so loyal that they never take a vacation, that is not necessarily a good idea.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Are those, Nicole, is it important that those 2 weeks be consecutive, or is it just total, or can it be two different times of 1 week, or a day at a time, or?
So I understand with most of us, we probably work with small businesses and it might be hard to give somebody 2 weeks off consecutive. In banking, it's a little bit different. You have different people that can rotate. So it really depends on your business. And there should be internal controls, even if your business is really small. If you only have one person in your accounting function and you can't let them go for 2 weeks at a time, set up different controls, checks and balances to have somebody else review. And maybe it is a good idea to give them 2-3 days off at a time if you can allow for it.
Great, beautiful. I appreciate that, that plan B. And I also, again, I'm hearing a common theme in both of your stories, which is third-party verification. That's a common theme that has come out so far.